everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. In this video we're just going to talk a little bit about the upcoming project that I'm going to show you how to make, and this is called the Build a Halloween Bookshelf by Urban Threads. Isn't this wonderful? And we can get it done in time for Halloween. This is going to be just amazing because I think with a solid color black background, it lets the threads shine and it gives such a cool, elegant, but haunted look. You've got the frog, you've got the hat, you've got a skull and a raven with a key, and you've got your pumpkin and an owl, and then you've got some really spooky books. I think this is amazing. So I'm going to be doing this project next on my tutorials, and I'm going to show you step by step how to make this project. So let's go ahead and go to the website so you can see where you need to go to get this design. This is by Urban Threads, and Urban Threads is one of my favorite machine embroidery websites. They just came out with this for this Halloween 2025. It's called, again, a Build a Halloween Bookshelf. It's a design pack. You get 9 different designs in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you can mix and match this as you want. You can put this in any order. I like how they have a kind of a focal point on the corners. You've got the big hat, the owl, the pumpkin, and the raven. So I probably will do it in the same way because I like that accent of those 4 pieces on the outside. But you can do this any way you want. I love that. And I think I called this a raven. I think it might be a crow according to them, but same thing. So they do make another design, which if you come down here, it's called Build a Bookshelf Scene Design Pack. This is another project that I'm going to be showing you later. And I'm going to do these 2 projects separate. But you could combine these. You could bring this dragon from this one into your Halloween one. The kitty cat, you can do the same thing. If you get both of these design packs, you can mix and match and make this wall hanging anything you want. Any combination of these blocks that you wish. My computer's a little slow right now. But there you go. You've got the kitty cat, you've got the globe, and this is the regular Build a Bookshelf scene. The project I'm going to start you off with is the Halloween one because it's just in time for Halloween. We've got just over a month before Halloween comes. So we have time to get this out. So I'm going to start with this one. And just keep in mind, if you want to switch it up and add it up with this other pack, you can. Okay? The technique for building each of these blocks is going to be the same. And the technique for putting the quilt together will be the same. So it doesn't matter which blocks you do, but just know my tutorials will start with this one, the Halloween one, and then I'll do another round of tutorials, which I'll show you the other bookshelf design pack. Okay? So urbanthreads.com is the website that you need to go to purchase this amazing design. I'll have the link in the description below as well. And there's different sizes. So if you're going to do this as a wall hanging, which is what I'm going to show you how to do, you can choose these different designs. If you want to do it as a table topper, I would go with the smaller designs. Like right here, it's a 4.87 by 4.85. That would make nice smaller blocks, and then it would fit as a table topper. I'm going to do a wall hanging, and I like to go big or go home. I almost always choose the slightly under 8-inch version, which this one is 7.81 by 7.79. So it's basically an 8-inch block. Okay, so there's 2 other sizes. You can do just under 6-inch, 5.87, or you can do just under 7-inch, 6.88. So you can kind of figure out what you would like to do, also dependent on the size hoop you have. Your embroidery machine may have a 5x7 hoop. In that case, you're going to need to buy this one here, 4.87 by 4.85, so that it fits within your 5x7 hoop. This one right here won't fit. You need at least an 8 by 8-inch hoop or 6 by 10-inch hoop to be able to make the larger design. So depending on what your machine is capable of doing, you need to pick the size that you need to purchase. I'm going to be using my 8x8" hoop. I have a Baby Lock Destiny machine that I'm going to be using for this, and that has an 8" hoop. So I'm going to be doing the 8" size, 7.81. All right. So urbanthreads.com is where you need to go to get this amazing design. If you only want to buy a couple blocks, you can do that too. You can buy them separately, or you can buy the full design pack, which right now has the everyday pack discount of being $28.96 for the whole design pack, which is 9 of these designs. Okay. All right. So the other supplies that you're going to need, I'm going to go to the table real quick and let you know what you need before we start this project. All right, let's go to the table. All right, now that we have the design downloaded and ready to go on our embroidery machine, now we get to cut the fabric. So I am going to be using black Kona cotton on this project. I think it's going to be the best because it's going to allow your threads to really shine through and stand out on a solid dark color background. So I've cut 9 squares that measure 10 by 10. The stitched block is actually going to be under 8 inches, but I want a little bit of wiggle room on each side, so I cut my fabric to be 10 by 10. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to cut some batting. I've used Warm and Natural on this. You can use any type of batting that you have at home that you want for this project. I just, again, cut squares that are 10 inches by 10 inches to match the same size as the fabric. You won't need this much. Again, the block is going to be 8 by 8, but then we're going to trim around, and that gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So I did mine 10 inches by 10 inches. Then last prep step that we need to do for the fabric is we need to cut a piece of fusible. All right, this is something that we put on the back of our fabric to help support it through all of the stitches that this cotton fabric is going to go through. So this is actually Paylon 860F. You can also use SF101. I prefer Paylon only because it's what I happen to have on hand. And then what I'm going to do is set that aside. Okay, I'm going to take my fabric and put it with the back side up. And with the Kona cotton, there's really no, back side. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Now, I cut these to actually be 9 by 10. The only reason I did that is because my bolt of the Paylon is a 20-inch long bolt. So half of that is 10. And I know I don't need it to be a true 10 by 10 because my stitching is not going to be going to the edge of this fabric. Remember, the block is going to be about 8 by 8. So I just went ahead and used that 20-inch. I cut it in half, and then I made 9-inch strips of that. So I have a little edge here. That's all I need. Again, I don't need to go to the far edges. I could probably even go more in, but the bolt was a nice 20 inches, so half of it was 10. So I just made it easy for myself. So I cut my pieces 10 by 9 inches, and then I'm going to fuse it to the back of the fabric. If you look at the fusible, you're going to have a smooth side and a bumpy side. You want to make sure you have the bumpy side facing the fabric. That's where the glue is. And you should have the smooth side facing up. I don't have this on my ironing board right now, but you'll take it over to your ironing board and you're going to use a pressing sheet. This one happens to be the silicone Applifuse mount by Gypsy Quilter. It's a pressing sheet. Then I'll put it on my ironing board, put the pressing sheet on top, and I'll press probably about 15-20 seconds, but you'll look at your instructions to see how long it's telling you to apply the iron dry heat so that it fuses this in place. And you'll do that for each one of the 9 blocks, okay? So let me get that done, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, I now have all of the fabric with the fusible on it ready to go. You need 9 of these. So the next supply that we need is going to be stabilizer for our embroidery machine. So go ahead and get the right size hoop to correspond with the size of the designs that you bought on urbanthreads.com. So let's clear off the table and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so now I've selected my 8" by 8" hoop because I'm going to be doing the larger, just under 8" designs on urbanthreads.com for this project. So my Baby Lock Destiny machine will allow me to use an 8" hoop. You need to select the hoop that you're going to be using for your blocks and get that out. Now we're going to be cutting stabilizer to go into the hoop. Now for this project, I highly recommend a poly no-show mesh stabilizer. It's very flexible. It will remain in the block and will remain in your wall hanging, so you don't have to worry about cutting it out or anything like that. So I always use the poly no-show mesh stabilizer for projects like this. Okay, so the easiest way to cut your stabilizer is to put the roll down and then put your hoop on it. And you want to make sure that you have a little bit on each side, which I do, so that it can go into the hoop and stick out and not fall through the hoop. All right, and then of course you want a little bit on the bottom and you want a little bit on the top. And then I just take my rotary cutter and I'm going to cut about right here. Nothing fancy, doesn't have to be straight, just so the fact that it will go into your hoop and will not come loose. Now you'll notice this is a kind of a tight fit, but in my experience, this works. All right. If it's any shorter than this 1/2 inch, you want to go to a larger roll of the poly no-show mesh. Like if I use my 8 by 12 hoop or my 9.5 by 14, of course I have to have the 20-inch size roll to make it fit. So hopefully in your arsenal of stabilizers, you have the right size roll that you need to fit in the hoop that you're using. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut 9 of these stabilizers so that I have them already on hand, ready to go when I get to stitching, so I don't have to cut again. I just grab a piece of stabilizer and go. So I'll meet you right back here when I have all 9 pieces cut. So now I have all 9 pieces cut, ready to go. You'll love this when it comes time to stitch because you just get to play. You don't have to go and cut stuff to come back to continue playing, right? All right, so I'm going to set this off to one side. And now I want you to go to your computer and I want you to print out the color change sheets that are for this project. Again, it's a Build a Halloween Bookshelf Scene, and there's going to be a page for each block. It'll show the block, and then it will show the color changes, and then it will show the colors. I printed on both sides. So then this is actually the unique colors that are used. And I use this to go to my thread collection and pull the colors that I need. You can use this as well, but this is actually the color changes. So like here for Sawdust, you're going to use it twice. Whereas this unique colors is just a simple chart of the colors you need to pull, regardless of how many times you may use it in the thread changes. But this is very important because you're going to have this right by your machine when you do each block, so you can see what color is going to be coming next as you change them out. So go ahead and print all of those out. And now let's go ahead and pull the thread colors that you need for each one of those after you've printed, and we'll get a collection and I'll show you what mine looks like. All right, here we go. So now let's look at some of the other supplies that you're going to need for this project. First of all, I went through my threads and I pulled all the unique color threads that are going to be used in these blocks. So this one is real pretty. Look at that. This one's going to be my Battleship Gray. This one's going to be my Majestic Purple, my Dark Teal, my Sawdust, my Terracotta, my Coffee Bean, my Carrot. These are all the names of what they've assigned to their threads. And I just picked the colors out of my collection. This is going to be the Overcast Gray, Mystic Lavender, Khaki, baby's breath, copper, emerald black. I didn't have a black that had a tint of green in it, so I just kind of went with an off black. And if you look at the area that it's going to be stitching, it's going to be crow line work and eye, book details, and the candle. So I think the off black will look really nice there. And then this one is the green turquoise. Okay, now I checked all the other blocks as well. You go through each and every one, and there's one other block that uses a different turquoise. See if I can find it here real quick. Not that one. Tree frog. Okay, so it's the potions and spell block. They have a turquoise that's a tree frog. So I went in my collection, I got one. It's pretty close. Mine's a little bit lighter. But then I looked to see where the tree frog is going to be used. Left standing book line work. And it's going to be up against this dark teal. So I pulled the dark teal, and I think those two will look great together. So that was the color I chose for the tree frog. All the other blocks use just these threads back here, and that potions and spell block will use that additional tree frog. All right, so we've got all our threads ready to go. You'll also need some bobbin thread. And then you'll need some embroidery scissors. You'll also need some curved scissors, which I'll put a link to these in the description below. I get these on Amazon. And this is what I use for applique. You see it's curved. That way when you're trimming and you go to trim your batting, you're not poking your scissors down into the stabilizer. You're lifting yourself up and away from the stabilizer. So a good pair of curved scissors will work great for that. Unfortunately, you need a seam ripper. We can never go through a project without having a good seam ripper. You also need to download your designs to a flash drive if that's the medium that your embroidery machine needs. That's what mine needs, so I have it on flash drive. Whatever format your machine uses, you need to download the designs onto that so that you can put it in your embroidery machine. The Baby Locks and the Brother use the PEZ format, so I put all the PEZ files on there. You need a rotary cutter to do all your cutting of your fabric and your stabilizer and your batting. You need a ruler. To do some of the cutting beforehand with your fabric. You'll also need this to trim up your blocks as we get through. And then I always have a pair of general craft scissors off to one side just in case I need to trim something that's not thread or fabric related. Okay, so this is basically all you need, your basic embroidery supplies, in order to do this project. And of course, you will need an embroidery machine. All right, so go ahead and gather all your supplies. And then in the very next video, we will start to stitch this project out. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Going to make this wall hanging, and it's going to be so cute to hang in your house or to give to a loved one. And then I will meet you here next time. We will start to stitch out this adorable project. So until then, have a great day and take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.